about the history of Faidley's.
All right. How about you want me to introduce myself first?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Might be a good idea.
Name, and then where we
All
are.
right. Okay. Hi. I'm Nancy Faidley Devine, and I own Faidley Seafood in downtown Lexington Market. We've been here since 1886. It was started by my granddad. The business at that time frame was called Smith and Faidley. It was an outside market. It was cold. He dealt primarily in fresh seafood, wholesale and retail, and fresh game. After that, my uncle went into business with my granddad and went off to war. When it was time to come back, he decided not to come back into the market, so my dad took his place. And my dad was John W. Faidley, hence the name John W. Faidley Seafood. He changed it because there was no longer the partnership of Smith and Faidley in my grandfather's time. My mom and dad were here for several years, and I, in the meantime, had gotten married, and I married a naval officer from Kansas. And he at that time was thinking about coming out of the Navy because we had established our family here in Baltimore and we're going to stay in this area. So my dad said to him, "What are your plans?" And he didn't have any at that time frame. And he said, "How about coming into business with me?" My husband came into business with my dad, and that's the way this whole place started to grow. From just fresh seafood into cooked seafood and the raw bar, because my father at that time frame had this young partner who was willing to spend many an hour and time and effort into building Faidley's. Faidley's was primarily just fresh seafood though, and the raw bar. And as I mentioned, my dad would often fix his lunch up here. There weren't any cooked food places in Lexington Market. It was just 2 or 3. One maybe home cooking and a hot dog place, that kind of thing. But you could buy cookies and bakery goods and sandwiches and that kind of thing. And my dad started making himself lunch, and he would cook fish sandwiches up here. And everybody would come in here and say, "Oh, that smells so good. I'd like to have one of those." So he decided at that time frame we needed to open a Cook's Edges. So hence we have now Faidley's cooked area. In 1980s, I came into work and helped my husband. My father had retired, and I thought just for fun I would try to make a gourmet crab cake. No one was making it at that time. They weren't using the jumbo lump crab meat because it was very expensive. And I thought, it's not really going to work in here. I'm standing people up, and yet I'm going to give them an expensive entree. Well, I was wrong. I only made 6 at first, but then I couldn't hardly keep up with them, and it eliminated all the other crab cakes that I had been making, and everybody wanted the jumbo lump. In 1992, GQ magazine gave me the Golden Dish Award for one of the 10 best dishes of the year. So, consequently, food critics and people, magazines, editors, food editors started to check to see what this crab cake was about. So then Faidley got its reputation then for that jumbo lump crab cake, and thank goodness has held on to it for many years since. You're so talkative, Tommy.
What was your first experience with Faidley's?
What was my first experience with Faidley's?
They're like, it was for, we were thinking about, we were interviewing an employee with Faidley's.
I didn't hear his question. I'll tell you, okay, I'll give you a little bit more for your story. You don't have to come up with your questions. Faidley's has been wonderful to me because I've had many, many opportunities that I wouldn't have had if it weren't for Faidley's. I was able to travel throughout Europe for 10 years and take crab feast overseas to London, to Germany, to Holland, to Reykjavik, and feed the Europeans crab cakes. They had never had a crab cake. They had never seen a blue crab. And it was so much fun. And it was exciting for me, and it was exciting for them. And that was to help the mayor and the governor promote Baltimore overseas. Because at that time frame, they were working at BWI and trying to build their international flights. So the airlines would sponsor me, and the state and city would sponsor me, and Frankfurt actually is a sister city in Germany. So for 10 years, I was able to go and put Crab Feast on in Europe. That would have never happened had not been for the Faidley's crab cake.
Could you walk us through a typical day working at Faidley's?
Well, Faidley's is only open from 10 to 5:30. So it's primarily a lunch business, but it's on Saturdays. It's very, very crowded with families. And then at holidays, holidays are just going to be they're so much fun and so exciting because families come back to visit Baltimore. And one of the first places they want to come to is Faidley's.
Recount for us your most memorable experience working here.
Well, I have had many. Just recent, we are in the Smithsonian magazine as one of the most iconic businesses in the country. We're also listed in 1,000 places to see before you die. So, on top of that, we've been on many food shows and travel shows. We've been in numerous magazines. We've been written up in Japan. We've been written up in London, and we've been written up in the New York Times. So we have been. We feel like we're one of the few businesses in Baltimore that have gotten that kind of response, and we look forward to keeping it up.
What's your favorite part of working here?
The people I work with, the young people I work with, because I love watching them when they have to work, and the teamwork that they put in to take good care of my customers, and then my customers. It's neat to see all the new young people coming into the market now, and that's exciting to me because we've had multiple generations, and now, like I mentioned, families. We'd have 3 or 4 generations. We've even had somebody spread ashes because they wanted to be buried in here because they loved it so much. So that's pretty extreme.
What significance does Faidley's have in your life? How has it affected you?
How does it affect my life? It is my life. I mean, it's everything to me. I wake up thinking about it. I go to sleep thinking about it. So it's I've raised a beautiful family because of Faidley's, and I've enjoyed every minute. I enjoy the people that I meet. I meet people from all over the world on a daily basis. And this is their destination. They come here to see me and to eat the crab cake. So it's wonderful. Not many people have that.
What sets Faidley's apart from its competition?
What's Faidley's what?
What sets Faidley's apart from its competition?
Consistency. That everybody can come here and get the same thing on a daily basis, no matter who they are. That I'm not going to feed a celebrity something different than I feed Joe Blow that comes in here, and that he can come in here 2 days from now, 5 years from now, and the product's going to be exactly the same.
And what's made Faidley stand out as an institution in Baltimore?
Well, there are not many business that withstand as many generations. We're into our fourth generation and my fifth. My grandson is here now taking care of the fish, and he is fifth generation Faidleys. So the longevity, not many businesses have that longevity.
Over your tenure here, how has Faidley's changed or stayed the same, especially within the context of Lexington?
The customers have changed over the years, but Faidley's hasn't changed, as you can see. I mean, everything is here. The history is here. Just walk around and look and read and stand in the middle of it, and you're in the middle of history. We were just mentioned in Sergeant Shriver's son just wrote a book, and this was one of his dad's favorite places to come. And he mentioned Faidley's, and he mentioned coming down here and standing at the raw bar and eating. And we sent him crab cakes on his 80th birthday.
What are some of the most significant awards that you've received, and how has the company responded to them?
Well, I've received, as I mentioned, we're one of the most iconic places in the United States. And we've been in numerous periodicals, magazines. They're all good. Everything is good. It all helps. And I feel good about every wonderful article that comes out. Every nice thing that's said about me is another feather in my cap. You got a lot of material there, kids.
We're not going to keep you much longer. But we do want to just make sure that we got about the early history. So if you will walk us through what you know about when it was founded.
Well, my grandfather started in 1886. It was a partnership, Smith and Faidley. They dealt in fresh seafood. They dealt in retail and wholesale and fresh game, a lot of terrapin at that time frame. So the products have changed because there was a lot of seasons for things, like shad season, rock season, that kind of thing, and people came down for a specific thing in season. That doesn't happen anymore because things are farm raised and the distribution, and oysters are able to keep, you didn't have oysters in the summertime. Now we have oysters in the summertime. So the product, the food, the way it's, we get our food is different. Essentially, a lot of my people that have been here, you'll see people that have been here for 24 and 30 years, and there hasn't been, I don't feel any drastic change. Except, of course, the area of Lexington Park that has changed. Remember, when my grandfather was here, there weren't any grocery stores. So everybody came to Baltimore to shop. You went in here, and this is where you shopped, at the markets, all of the markets throughout Baltimore. You didn't have Acme and A&P. They were one of the first ones. Now you've got Whole Foods and Fresh Foods and all these other grocery stores, Safeways, Giant, but everybody had to come to market. So it was always very, very busy. A lot of people.
If I may ask one more question of you, what role does Faidley's play within the community around this exact neighborhood and Baltimore?
And that may have changed.
Oh, well, honey, the thing that I feel is that we still continue to give Baltimore a good name, and I'm very proud of that. And the fact that people want to come specifically to Baltimore to go to Faidley's is just wonderful to me. I mean, that's mind-blowing to me that people will get off an aircraft and say they got off the airplane to come here to Faidley's to eat. Or they've driven for 6 hours or 8 hours and come running in here at closing and say, oh no, please, we've been on the road and we couldn't wait to get here and we've heard about it. And my brother told me about this place, or my mother or my uncle, or this kind of thing, and say, if you go to Baltimore, you've got to go here. So that's the kind of thing that keeps me working at this time, because it's like it just rejuvenates me and it energizes me and makes me want to stay here and continue doing what I'm doing.
Anything you want to add?
No, I think I've kind of talked myself out. So I think you've got everything you need, don't you? Good. Come on. You gotta smile. You gotta be a little bit more.
All right.
Hi.
Hi.
Could you introduce yourself however?
Oh, yeah.
Say your name and introduce yourself however you want.
All right.
You're just going to be looking at her.
Okay. My name is Lou Fleming.
I'm sorry. Can we start over?
Yeah.
There we go. We're good now.
Yeah. My name is Lou Fleming. Started here in January of 1979 or 78, around about that time. All right.
What got you into working here?
Well, actually, they was having a fair at Johns Hopkins University. And his son-in-law was back there shucking oysters and clams, and he had a line from here to Texas. And I said, man, you need some help. And he said, really? Do you know how to do that? And I said, yes. I came back there and helped him. And after the fair was over, he brought me back down this market. And I've been here ever since. Yep.
How long has that been?
That's been since 1978, 79. I was 38, 37, 38 years. Yep.
What is your role here?
Well, right now, I'm the manager, and my role is anything that got to be done. I have no special job, but I do mostly everything. Whether it's cutting a fish, whether it's shucking an oyster, whether it's ordering crab meat, whether it's shipping crab meat, everything. That's my role.
Can you take us through like a typical day working?
Typical day, you come in, you get set up, you make sure that you have enough employees to do what you got to do. Then I get on the telephone, fax machines, get all the shipping orders together, get them out in the mail, wait on all the customers that comes in, and basically just take orders for the next day. That's my typical day.
How often do you usually work here?
How often?
Yeah.
Do I work here? I'm here every day of the week. Every day of the week, all day.
What's your most memorable experience from working for Faidley?
In this market, for Faidley's, I get to meet a lot of stars, a lot of famous people. Yeah. Be surprised, a lot of famous people comes in here. Yeah. Ted Capel comes in. We did movies here, like Sleepers in Seattle. We did Meg Ryan been in here. Nell Carter been in here. Esther Rowe been in here. The guy from Taxi, Louis, been in here. Danny Glover. Politicians, you name it, they been in here. All of them. Yep. They even got a couple of autographs from people like Nat King Cole. I got her autograph here one time. I just had the Oakridge boys in here. They stopped in and got crab cakes. Had the big van outside, the big bus, and they got the beautifulest bus that you ever want to see. They can pull that thing down and perform right there in the middle of the street. But it's been exciting. Yep.
How has Faidley's responded to all of the awards that you guys have received?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, how has Faidley's responded to all the different awards and nominations that you guys have received?
Oh, they take it with ease now, and they over that. We get people from everywhere, magazines, papers, satellites, all the food shows, competition with each other. It's been great. Yeah.
How has Faidley's changed over the years that you've worked?
Faidley's haven't changed at all, just to the better. All right, ever since Nancy Devine invented the jumbo lump crab cake, it's been all history from there, unless she invents something else. She didn't invent it, but the way she make them, nobody can copy that. Yep.
What's your favorite thing about working here?
I'll get to go home at the end of the day. That's about it. But I love doing what I do. If I didn't, I wouldn't have been here that long. You know what I mean? But that's a typical day's work. And that's what I like about it. I know what I got to do before I get here. I know what time I'm going to get in. I know what time I'm going to leave.
Is it like a community with the employees?
Say it again.
Does like the employees relationship feel like a community?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You guys work here for so long?
Oh, yeah. I've probably been here longer than any employee they had, but most people that's behind here now, they've been here quite a while also. But nobody like me. Somebody say 37, 38 years. If I fill out an application and somebody say, how long you been working? I said, 37 years, 38 years. They said, no, I'm coming on the job you on. I said, 38 years. And they said, are you retired? I said, no, I'm still working on the same job. They find it hard to believe till they call.
Why do you think that is? Like been able to think
Maybe because I look younger than what I am. But very seldom you see people work on any job that long, unless they own it.
that what makes Faidley so unique? Because like,
No, Faidley's unique because of what they food, but what they sell. That's what I think. I don't think it's because of an employee, which I do have a lot of customers that's really good, close friends of ours. You know what I mean? It's pretty good.
Faidley is really involved with Baltimore and like the community.
Yes, yes. Especially with everything goes on in the downtown area. They call us up, want us to be a part of it. Just like they got the lightning of the Washington Monument. And they might ask us to put a raw ball in for the lighting, you know, the little, some ceremony that they're gonna have. Or they might ask us to cook crab cakes, you know what I mean? And we either give them a yes or no answer. Yep. But they very much into anything. If they ask by the city or if they ask from an organization, yes, they're very involved. Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit about how the market in general has changed over the years since you've been here?
Well, since I've been here, the market have changed. The market have changed in a way you get more fast food than preferably when I first came here. There wasn't any foreigners in the market at all. When I came here, it was one Chinese person in the whole market. Now, there's only 3 Americans left in the market. So that have changed really bad. Not to a bad point, but it's changed because there's so much fast food and they got away from the tradition of what people really go to the market for.
What was that tradition? Why did you?
Well, the tradition is you go to market to shop for food. The old people would come in with their bags folded up in their hand, and they wasn't looking for a cheeseburger or some chicken. They looked in the shop. And the market have kind of got away from that. And I think that's because they let so many vendors in that's selling fast food. And that's the biggest change I've seen since I've been here.
My
Yeah.
last question, or our last question,
Yeah.
unless you have others. Why did you stay here so long? Really, like why?
Well, I like the people. I like my boss. I like his wife. They pay me good, right? And when you're doing something and to get that long, it's like I might as well stay where I'm at now. I'm almost done. You know what I mean? But really, it's been great. It's been great. I don't regret one bit of it. I don't regret one bit.
Do you feel that you have a sense of pride working here?
Oh, yes. Yes. I even got my sons working here. Yep.
Anything else, Mark?
Do you see like what kind of future do you see for Faidley?
Oh, restaurants. We probably gonna open up another restaurant. I mean a dining restaurant where you can come in, take off your coat and your jacket and be seated, and someone drive your car around to the parking place. That's very soon. Yes. Yeah, we will open a restaurant. Yeah.
What's your most memorable experience from working here?
My what?
Your most memorable experience?
Good or bad?
Whatever. Most memorable.
Like I said before, it was a great meeting the people that I met on the way. They was really good people. Good people, and can't trade that. You can't trade that. I've met a lot of people from the time I've been here, doing a lot of different people, doing a lot of different things. There's been an inspiration in my life a whole lot. Yep.
So I guess the last question, sorry. What would you want people to know about Faidley's? What do you want the public to know about this place?
That they sell great food, right? They're excellent in shipping things, and they're excellent in you getting it on time, next day air. And if you live in the state of California, and somebody can ship you out 6 or 12 crab cakes, the very next day you talk to them on the phone, that is great. That is great. That beats a dozen of roses any day.
Is that the only thing that makes it unique here? Is there a tradition maybe that also makes it important?
Yeah, for how long they've been here. They've been here since 1887. That's 5 generations. That's what makes the place great. Everybody knows them all over the country. That's what makes it great. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Lou.
All right.
We'll take